5.1 number 9 is asking you to subtract these two fractions, if you will. Again, you may have a different number on top than what I have, but process will still be the same. To get them to have the same denominator, you have to have the same denominator to add or subtract fractions. So basically what I'm going to do is take my first denominator right here, and I have to multiply the top and the bottom over here by that denominator. And then I would take the second denominator and I would multiply the top and the bottom by that denominator. Now some students get, they call that cross multiplication. We are not cross multiplying. That only happens when it's an equal sign between the fractions. What I'm doing is getting a common denominator, and so what you'll notice is my green and blue expressions are equal to 1. So when you multiply by 1, you don't change things. But now the key is I have a secant x minus 1 and a secant x plus 1, secant x minus 1 and secant x plus 1. So secant of x minus 1 and a secant of x plus 1 for my denominator. And then if I take the 5 and distribute, I get 5 secant of x minus 5. Now be careful, this one is a negative 5 when I multiply, so I get a negative 5 secant of x and a negative 5. And so what you'll find out is these two things add up to 0. I have a negative 10. And then on the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and FOIL now, because these are what I call difference of squares factorings. I only have to do first and last. They're like conjugates of each other. So I have a secant squared of x minus 1. Now if you look at the important things to remember right here, if I take the 1 and subtract it to that side, I would have tangent squared secant squared minus 1. So I have a secant squared minus 1. And so back here, this would be negative 10 over tangent squared of x. So then if I looked at it, I could look at it like this. And another name for 1 over tangent squared would be cotangent squared of x. So that would be my answer.